Well, hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've just brought back the competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, so I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading and I don't like to waste anyone's time. So with that in mind, let's get straight to your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is your monthly reading for September. Where is the time going? I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. And let's just say, hold on to your hats because astrologically we have a lot going on in September. It's a very unique month indeed. Now, eclipse season is upon us, so things may get a little bit wild. Not one, but two eclipses. They occur this month. Plus, we also have the second new moon, often called a black moon, and that will occur in the sign of Virgo. A Virgo portal, as it were, which is very unusual, but it also coincides with a partial solar eclipse. So that is a lot going on. And let's unpack this to see what it means for the collective at large, because eclipses disrupt the natural order of things and are often perceived as harbingers of change. Look at that. You have a lot of movement. You've got a lot going on there, my beautiful Librans. But this harbinger of change, shall we say, can manifest in many different ways. It offers you a pivotal opportunity to contemplate radically new directions, hatch new plans, set new goals, or make new promises to yourself and keep those promises. Now, partnered with the fact that we have also officially moved into the sign of Virgo, consider September a bit of a quality control month where you cast a very meticulous eye over your life path to refine or even redefine plans, and with a sharp mind, spot anything that does not meet your expectations, and then set to changing those things. Holding yourself to higher standards is what it's all about, decluttering, reorganizing, methodically completing tasks while making space for hard-earned rewards, plus scheduling in some quirky fun times, and even quenching your thirst for knowledge, which may see you scrolling or enrolling on workshops, classes, forums, or learning new skills. Oh, and also you will be staying on top of your health goals too. You in particular, my beautiful Librans, because your sixth house is influencing you there as well. Now that sounds like a lot, right? But it will leave you feeling absolutely exhilarated, but also needing a well-earned massage on a secluded beach somewhere with a nice beverage of choice and your do not disturb sign on, if only. Now, at least you'll be very proud of yourself that you will have been super productive and have ticked a lot off your to-do list, awarding you with a sense of achievement, because that's what Virgo season is all about. It basically sees you being super productive, getting everything done, okay? Now, back to all those eclipses. A full blood moon eclipse occurs on the 7th or the 8th, depending on where you are in your time zone. Now, full moons, they offer closure, forgiveness, an opportunity to really release and let go. But partnered with eclipse, you might just slam that door to the past, lock it, and throw away the key. Emotions run very high. So you may feel a little bit sensitive, but your soul knows what you finally need to release. How interesting that I'm just saying that, and we've got these doors. 2 of them have been closed, and 1 is open. So you may be slamming a lot of doors this month, but also, keeping the ones that are important open to you. Now, of course, you owe it yourself, basically, to set yourself free from anything that has been holding you back. And the blood moon encourages you to do the shadow work, to really assess and deep dive, release challenging emotions. And also, if you've been feeling like you've been drifting, whether that's the last couple of months or years, this is a big problem-solving month. Clarity comes to you from that influence of that Virgonian energy. It helps you to get structured and back on track. Also, be mindful, eclipses can amplify anxiety or give a platform to your inner critic. So remember that this too shall pass. Be compassionate with your wonderful self. And also animals, they tend to become very anxious or unsettled during eclipses too. We all feel the effects. So extra cuddles for pets will be important as well there. Now, what's wonderful about this particular lunar eclipse, because eclipses are not all bad. It depends on a lot of factors there. And this one actually trines Jupiter, planet of good luck and good fortune, my favorite planet there. So expect positive results or outcomes on things that you've worked hard for or invested your time in. Saturn also returns to the sign of Pisces. Okay, now Saturn is retrograding, so it's just retrograding back into the sign of Pisces this month. And this may see you revisit and breathe new life into old projects or anything that you've sidelined to come back to. This is a month to return to those things. And also karmically, any unresolved issues are reviewed, but this time to problem solve, purify, and start with a clean slate. So it's a big month. If you want to change your life, this is the month to lead positively with intention, as manifestation frequencies are also very, very high, and you will be in your 12th house at the end of the month there. So that will affect you highly when it comes to manifestation. You're going to be given stronger energy to do that. Now, we also have a partial solar eclipse on the 21st or the 22nd, depending on which hemisphere you reside in. And this coincides with the black new moon in Virgo. Now, I have to give you this one straight because this eclipse is not as positive. Of course it's not. I mean, why would it be? But, this doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. However, it may raise tensions collectively, which is why structure will be the key to managing September. This could be a period where, suddenly something comes left field or out of the blue, a bit of a plot twist, something you have to deal with, last minute, for example, which could make you feel a little bit frustrated. That's the sort of energy I'm talking about. Someone may cancel on you, or someone may give you an extra project and give you a small time frame for it. So that's what to expect in around that solar eclipse. Okay, so structure is going to be working really well for you so that you can factor all these things in. And I mean, you're in your 6th and your 12th house, so I feel like you're good. But also in terms of global events, and please fast forward this part if you really don't wish to hear it, September is a really pivotal shift month. We may witness an economical wobble, which harvests a very serious conversation around global bankruptcy and draconian ways to replenish governmental purses. Now, as I mentioned before, eclipses are harbingers of change, and these particular eclipses will really steal the show. In ancient times, also, a blood moon eclipse symbolized the fall of a king or a leader or someone of great influence. So we may see headlining news in and around this factor, and maybe even their substitute or body double, if that makes sense. My guides were giving me an energy of body double, and I was like, oh, I gotta write it down because that's what I'm feeling and seeing in the images when I'm scrying. So let's see what happens there. But also we'll continue to see shocking exposés centered around public figures, especially during this time. Their hidden dark side comes to light, becomes public knowledge, and then we start to question their position of influence. So we'll see conversations around that as well. Now, solar eclipses in particular were often interpreted as causing anger, conflict, and uprising. So we may see growing tensions rise globally as people seek to be heard and represented fairly. Eclipses also tend to affect, nature in very extreme ways. And we're already seeing amplified shifts in weather and, earthly seismic shifts. This month could actually see a critical seismic activity, very fiery, amplifying water-related events. I mean, I hope I'm wrong on that, but we may see something in and around that, as eclipses tend to amplify that energy, and we've already been seeing it without eclipses. So yeah, let's see what happens there. And of course, eclipses, they occur in signs, and this time it's occurring in Pisces and Virgo. So we may see conversations directed at shaking up the healthcare systems and implementing new protocols, which is going to be very positive. So it's not all doom and gloom there. Critical debates in and around unemployment and the advancement of AI or replacement technology will also hit the headlines from September, and that'll occur for the next couple of years as we really kind of have conversations highlighting what a future could look like if technology becomes more celebrated than human talent. Okay, and then we get to course correct. That's what September is all about, so that we don't kind of like phase out and replace with technology. So we may be at a critical point in that aspect. Now, there's so many levels to energy and life. So there's energy on a global scale, but also on a personal level as well. So on a personal note, we have K2 in the sign of Leo. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means it works really hard to see you receive recognition and gain for past efforts. And also remember, Jupiter is cheerleading you from the sidelines, of course, to send you extra luck, willing you to literally win in your circumstances, sending extra benevolence there too. And that will continue until it retrogrades on the 11th of November. So whilst it may feel like things are falling apart, it is here that things start to fall together and come back together stronger. This is a perfect month to refine any goals or plans or details, or introduce rituals where you raise your vibrations, be more positive, change of mindset. Virgonian frequencies encourage you to be in service. Firstly, to yourself, of course, then to those that you hold dear, and then the world at large. We can all do our bit to send or spread love and positivity wherever you may be. I always say, be the soul of that place. Be present. Shine your light. It starts with the self first, and it emanates outwards. Light a candle. Play your favorite song. Change your vibrations. Connect to nature. We are all one, and those who seek to divide us shall not succeed. Okay? Very pivotal month when it comes to that. Okay? But let's get to your personal energy, because it's a very busy month for you, okay? I feel there's a lot of opportunities. You're going to have many fingers in many pies. I feel like you're wearing all hats, as it were, this month. And your sixth house is influencing you, so that's all about your daily routines and schedules. So you may be busy just doing what you do best, okay? Holding your life all together, focusing on paying bills, savings plans, budgets, repayment plans, responsibilities, tasks, all of the stuff, okay? This house sometimes feels a little bit dull and boring to some because, it feels like none of the big stuff is happening. But actually, I feel it's one of the most important houses because it keeps you maintaining and sustaining, and it keeps your life running smoothly. So when you've got that all together, that's when you can go out and, focus more on the bigger stuff or more fun, more possibilities. But this card is a card of movement, and it's 42 when you reduce it. 4 plus 2 is 6, of course. So this is to remain balanced and grounded, because this is going to be a very busy month for you. So if you've just come back from a vacation, for example, or a little staycation or a little bit of time away, this means you're hitting the ground running. It means you're back in the fray. You're back locked onto your goals. You're excited. You're passionate. You're driven. Your Ace of Wands energy is enthusiasm. It's enterprising. It's like brilliant spark, that vision of your future. It's you kind of like starting something that starts to bud, as it were. So it could see you launching new projects, launching new approaches, having more energy, being more like inspired on things. And this card, because this is your protagonist energy, I feel like you're like jumping over any obstacles. I feel like you're on the go. You're on a mission to complete something. And I feel this is, an exciting time. You're working towards doing something that's going to be very successful. Okay. And very important, savor the experience. We are a human being. We don't always have to be a human doing, although life is highly pressurized right now. Everyone's got something to do and there's a lot of challenge, and it feels like we're all just human doings right now on that treadmill called life, right? But savoring the experience is so important. That's literally what this card means. It basically means be mindful and aware of the speed in which you do activities, such as eating. Could, make you feel like you're having indigestion because you're not digesting properly. Also, the speed at which you're working, okay? Because when you have a 7 of Cups there, okay, this can indicate that when you're doing something at high speed or you feel pressurized, it can make you feel a bit scattered. So lots of thoughts coming in, feeling a little bit overwhelmed in like so many sporadic things that you have to do. I feel it's important to not just slow down. You'll find your pace because, of course, you have that Ace of Wands, which is a very grounded energy. Aces are the beginning, but also grounding of something. So I feel this is about like savoring the moment. You know, when you spend time with your family, for example, really spend time. When you're face to face with a friend, having a deep conversation, spend time in that moment and really be engaged, because, you know, we live in such a fast-paced environment. We could have a conversation with a person who's in front of us and still be thinking about, oh, I got to buy that for dinner. I didn't reply to that person. Oh, I've got that project on at work. You know, so it can be that whilst you're face-to-face having a moment, sometimes there's just a lot of interference, a lot of noise that comes in. And September is asking you to quieten the noise. You have that hermit energy, which is to, you know, really find grounding. Also, you know, take some time out, you know, hone your listening skills. But first of all, listen to yourself. What is your body telling you? What are your bodily needs at this moment in time? So it could be that, you know, you've been running on autopilot, or you've been pushed and pulled in many different directions, and your body is saying, hey, we've got a vitamin deficiency. Hey, we have a hormonal imbalance. Hey, you've got high cortisol right now because you're under a lot of stress. So this can be that you're listening. You know, the hermit is to remove, to listen, and then set some changes in motion, because you have that Knight of Swords, which is lifestyle changes. And we've got, you know, water, to be in the flow, to have more peace of mind, to be unflappable in your circumstances. So I feel that you're completing things to a high standard. There's a lot of success around you, and you're making it look effortless, but people don't realize the amount of stress or strain that you've been under. And now you want to manage those things. That's what this card is literally about. So I feel this card is about understanding the quality of time that you spend on things. Okay, so yes, you may have a lot of things on your to-do list, but don't rush it. Don't feel pressurized. You may have time-sensitive things to accomplish. You're going to get it done. Don't worry about it. Don't feel overwhelmed about it. Take it at a methodical pace, because your 6th house is saying, like, let's focus on the practicalities, the routine, the structure. And the Virgonian energy is going to be like, okay, let's be methodical. Let's, you know, make a plan. So I feel you would really benefit from structure and a plan. You know, having a to-do list. If you're not the sort of person who has a to-do list, it's all up here, you know, and you've got it on your mind, I would say that this would be a great time to, how would I say? Sorry, my guides are distracting me right now. I'm hearing humming, okay? So I feel this is about tuning in and vibrations. You know, I'm not sure if you even caught that on camera. I heard 2 hums, okay? You know, humming, if you notice, is actually a vibration that occurs inside of yourself, and it actually helps recalibrate. So, you know, you feel the vibration in your sinuses. I'm being drawn to that area right now as well. So some of you, it could be that, you know, you're trying to work through a sinus problem, or perhaps you're clearing your sinuses if you've had like a cold, for example. But the hum, I feel this is about grounding. You can actually hum and feel the resonance of all of it in your whole body, right down to your feet. That's when you're in alignment. So that's really random to come through, but perhaps this is a month of alignment for you, so I had to mention it there. But this is a card that indicates, you know, taking quality time to enjoy things. taking a pause, very important. We don't always have that luxury, so it's important to try and carve out that time, and I feel that's something that you're going to be trying to do. A lot of you are in a rush or trying to complete something because you're trying to get ahead of yourself this month in order to have some time off or spend quality time with family members or friends or your partner, for example. But the Seven of Cups tells me you're doing a lot of things. This is a card of using your imagination and, allowing the possibilities to run wild in your mind. It's like there's no doubt you're going to accomplish things, but it's like you're leading with the what if. What if I do this? What if I try this door? If any door is locked, it doesn't mean not never. It means just not now. Sometimes we will encounter a locked door on our path, preventing us from moving forward because the universe is saying, I'm asking you to take a rest. Don't open that door right now because you need rest, you need time, you need to really reflect on your experiences. So sometimes a door will open when the time is right. Divine timing, very important for you. So if you're noticing that there's a blockage or there is a locked door for you at this moment in time, recognize that it's not never, it's just not now. And the Hermit is highlighting there is a time and a place for everything, and you need to stop and just reflect on what's a priority right now, and then the door will open when the moment comes, as it were, okay? Now, the Seven of Cups is also an energy of choices. We've got the Ace of Wands there, so it can be that you've got a lot on your to-do list right now, and you're wondering where to start, what to prioritize. The one that excites you the most with that Ace of Wands, the one that you feel enthusiastic about, I feel that something you could be launching or something that you're working on could open so many doors for you, okay? The right ones are going to open first, and then the ones that are unlocked will, of course, give you a portal to walk through, but anything that is locked off to you will open in time. Everything has a time and a reason and a season. So if you're someone who's rushing to hit a deadline, I feel like, of course, you're going to meet that deadline, but also if you're launching something, I see it going global. If you're selling a product or you are creative, or you're an influencer, I see you furthering your reach. These cards are all about expansion this month, doubling down on whatever you're doing and getting your message out there. If you're someone who works for yourself, you could be promoting your work, marketing, for example, or just like highlighting to people. And I feel people are going to be receptive to whatever it is that you are either selling or promoting or creating at this time. If you're a creative, like you're a musician or you're an artist or a performer, or you connect to social media platforms, or you're in media, for example, I feel this is a month where you could meet a new contact or a very important door or portal opens up for you for a brand new start, okay? Now, whether you are in one of those careers or not. If you're currently looking for a job, for example, if you have been drifting with that Seven of Cups, if you've been searching for opportunities, or if you've been out of work, kind of looking for opportunities and you feel there's a lot of closed doors right now, you may feel nobody's hiring or they're looking at you like you are overqualified, because basically that means they love your talent. They think you're really gifted, but you're established and are probably expecting a certain amount of money, and they're not going to try and find it in the budget for you. However, if you said, you know what, I'd still just love to work for the company and I'll take the less money, they would absolutely hire you in a second. So don't allow any locked doors to knock your confidence. It's more about budgets and what's available at this moment in time. But I see a new role opening up for you. Ace of Wands is a new endeavor, something you're excited about. Aces are opportunities that have a lot of potential. And this is an opportunity that gives you stability, peace of mind, and extra money. Page of Pentacles is right there. There's money news for you. You will advance quite quickly in this role. And it feels very much like, for some of you, it could be like something temporary at first that's offered later on to become more permanent. Okay, or it could be that there is a probation period there. But Page of Pentacles is always like the offer of either extra money. So it could be an increase in your finances, or a new project or a new client that comes in adding new money to your pot. Or it could be that there is a new role. So if you're currently out of work and you're searching, you're going to have some news on a new endeavor. But it's almost like if you go for the interview you don't hear anything for a long time. You almost assume like you didn't get it, okay? And then suddenly you get news that you got it, and then you start on Monday. You may get the news on Friday evening. So it's like, it happens real quick. So you may be like, what? So if you need to negotiate a better starting time, you will get that. You will be afforded that luxury because they love you. They want to hire you, okay? And I feel that this is a role that will change your life. It's a very fast-paced environment. Whatever this is, it's real quick, okay? But I feel like you're going to love it. You're going to love the challenge, and you're going to love the money that goes with it as well. The Hermit energy indicates a lot of you will be in this role until you retire, or in this genre or this sector until you retire. You're going to love it so much, okay? So it really aligns with your sense of purpose. So if you are searching for a job, yes, I see it's challenging. It's very oversaturated, a lot of locked doors right now, but there is this one thing that's coming through, the right door, the right opportunity. You're going to be in the right place at the right time, and the right money is going to be offered, okay? And you will staircase your finances with this over time. And if you're currently in a job right now, I feel there's an energy here of extra work coming your way. You may be like, oh, okay. But what I see is you may have been noticing redundancies going on or people leaving environments, and that's just having a knock-on effect, and you're taking on more of the slack. You know, you may be inspired to do something about that, to either delegate, you know, if you have that luxury as well. But if not, you know, it could be that you transform the way that you do this, and actually it opens up a new role for you, and it gives you more money. People look at the way that you are kind of like enterprising, the way you work. So if, for example, you know, you're taking on someone else's work, it could be that you start a new system, or you file it in a different way, or you create like some sort of new structure or app or technology that helps you advance quite quickly. And you start getting noticed, and the right doors are opening up for you, and it sees you advance really quickly through the ranks there as well, okay? Now, if you work for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner there, yes, it's going to really take off for you, okay? There's definitely new opportunities opening up here for you, ones that you're really excited about. Some of them, perhaps, that you're not so excited about, that's coming through there as well. So prioritizing is important. Knowing when to walk away from a deal or walk away from something is so important. Intuitively, you will know what is right for you. If there is like a challenging client that comes in and you think, oh, this person's going to be a piece of work, it could be that you're like, okay, weigh up the options. Does this help advance your business, or is this going to cause problems that prevent you from focusing on other clients, for example? So I feel this is a month to prioritize what's important for you long term, and especially for your well-being, okay? That's a random message to come through, but it had to come through, so obviously someone is dealing with that. Now, aces are newness, okay? So that can be that you're looking at a lot of new things in your world. You're inspired to try new things, new environments, new food, especially since your sixth house is there. This could be you trying new things that connect to your health, new kind of like elixirs, lotions, potions, you know, maybe new diet related endeavors, new activities, because although your sixth house is routine, you have that Ace of Wands, which is like you inspired to try something different, or try a new approach. You could even try new skills, for example, or new organization techniques. You could be reorganizing your house with like new shelving units or things like that. So please apply it to your situation. It just feels like in the middle of this structure with that sixth house, you have the Ace of Wands, which is, yeah, I've got structure and there's ways I like doing things, but could I add to this in some way? Could I, you know, branch out a little bit more? This is a card of inspiration and transformation. This also indicates that, you know, you are inspired and tapped into your dreams because your 12th house is influencing you, and your 12th house helps you bring your dreams into reality because you've got action. Something is budding here. So if you're launching, you know, a new business endeavor, or you're launching a new line of something, or a new style, or a new way of doing something, creating something, it's going to really take off and be very successful. Also, a lot of you, you know, because your 12th house is all about spirituality and healing and unseen realms, this can be that you kind of like wipe a karma slate there for yourself, or you break through a limiting belief system, like you're going from, you know, the fears or doubts to the power of possibility, or you're breaking through like a barrier in some way or a blockage, maybe a money block for some of you. But it can also be that you reach a new level of consciousness, or you're raising your vibrations and you have a breakthrough when you're doing meditation, or maybe an exercise routine. Perhaps you get to a certain level and then your body says, nope, that's it. But then it can be that you're strengthening and now you go to the next level. So I feel like there is that kind of like pushing through in order to reach the next level there for you. So this is a very powerful month there and very exciting. Now, also, when you have an Ace of Wands, this could be you trying new service providers, new contracts, you know, new kind of products, whether it's beauty products or products that you need in and around the house. So that's a very practical energy. But for some of you, in terms of your finances, because you have doors there and you have a Page of Pentacles and endurance with that rock, it can be that you are aware that economically, of course, things are very challenging right now. If you see this rock, you know, and those roots, it's a very precarious situation. Technically, on that rock, nothing should grow, okay? But a big old tree is growing on that rock. So it can be that, you know, even in financially challenging times, you find a way to make a lot of money, or find a way to make a stable amount of money that becomes generational wealth. So this could be that you're launching like something on a social media platform, because we have that Knight of Swords. Swords are connected to the ether, the internet as well there. And because you have your 12th house, which is about elevation, it's about frequencies, you know, that is a period where being online in some way, or promoting something online, or working online, it just is going to work for you. It's going to take off. It's going to elevate. So you may even be trying to automate something that kind of like takes care of itself. Now, this could also be done through real estate, passive income. This could be something you're working hard to get involved in, because your 6th house is more grounded. You know, if you think about the two, where 6th house is more earth, grounded energy, and the 12th house is more air, elevated energy. So it can be that you've got a plan and you're taking it to the next level. You're elevating, you're taking things to the top. Real estate is connected to the 6th house. So it could be that you're looking at where you feel like you belong in your neighborhood or in your community, or you could be thinking about going overseas. Some of you may even be trying to migrate your life or your business or your world overseas. If you're retired, you could be wondering which country you want to retire to, for example, or you may want to travel to new places and see new cultures during this time and experience new environments, because there is this desire to have structure, a plan, but also, you know, this air energy where it's like seeing things from a different perspective. When you're higher up, you see more of when you are grounded. So I feel it's important that you recognize the balance between the two. Now, endurance rock, of course, you know, this card, it is number 20 when you reduce it. 2 plus 0 is 2, of course. So that is the High Priestess energy. So a lot of you may be laying stronger foundations when it comes to your life philosophy, your belief system. A lot of you, because of your 12th house, are going to be connecting into your spiritual gifts, whether it is through meditation or psychic abilities, flashes of knowingness, or just your intuition, your gut instinct saying, you know what? I feel something is off here. I mean, looking at the energy, I don't see that anything is off here, okay? But if you are feeling it, you know, always trust your intuition. I just see that if there's anything like going against you this month, it could be delays in travel, delays in news coming on in, or if you're waiting for any results on something, there could be delays in those areas, okay? Also, you could deal with a very stubborn person, or you could deal with a little bit of, I would just say they're very immature in their energy. I mean, some of you could be worried about finances, but I feel there's an opportunity for money coming on in here for you because it goes into the upright. So this could be that you discover money like on the street, or you win a little something, or you actually get a small raise in your working environment, or in a benefit, or in your pension, or for some of you, it could also be like a bonus. And this could be something that's talked about, you know, or discussed, because you have some strong Knight of Swords energy. Can be a communication about future plans. But with this card, You know, this energy is looking for the groundedness in chaotic situations and being patient. Slow and steady wins the race, and it is the way towards success. So I feel there's this rush here. It's like sometimes we have to recognize that when we look at social media, we always look at everybody and it looks like everyone's winning. And then you think about yourself and you think, wow, okay, you know, my progress is slow. Remember, people only highlight things on social media when it's going really well. Okay. And, you know, there is this kind of shout for attention on social media as well. So we're in a world right now where there's a lot of noise and communication, very fast-paced environments. Your progress is your progress. And sometimes we have to recognize that life is more of a marathon rather than a sprint. You're still going to get your success. You are still going to elevate and have a very peaceful outcome here and, really celebrate yourself. But you must be grounded in that knowledge, because sometimes, when we look at other people and we feel, oh, everybody's doing so well, we feel sometimes overwhelmed and try to go faster or try to work harder, or, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to do more. Okay, when sometimes the universe says, okay, have you ever thought about doing just a little bit less, doing what's important, the priority at this time, and then sitting back and watching the universe deliver to you? Because sometimes people forget about the give and take of life. There is a law of balance. When you have an ace, it always talks about the law of the universe. This is a law of transformation and inspiration, and also it is a law of action. So you have a lot of action here. But on the other side, you have the Hermit, which is more about sitting back. It is about disconnecting. It's about connecting to self. Because when you have the two, you take action on something and then you let it just happen. The magic will happen. Just like you make a wish. You make a wish, you take 1 footstep towards what you want, the universe will take 10 steps towards you. I had to learn the hard way that, if you're always on the go and you're always pushing, because that's the society that we have right now, you'll burn yourself out. And of course, you'll always feel like you're pushing, but on that treadmill where you're running, but it still feels like you're in the same place. When you take a step back and say, okay, I've pushed really hard, I've done this now, and I'm just going to take a step back and just take stock of things. When I did that, the universe started to deliver things more effectively and effortlessly than before. And I was like, what is this? I tried so hard to accomplish some of the things in my past that I literally was burning myself out. And the universe sent me a tower. And I was like, you know what? You need to change. And you're not changing all by yourself because you're stubborn. So you have to get a forceful change. So that's what a tower is. It forces change upon you. Now, you don't have a forceful change upon you. You don't have a tower here. But I feel like you're making some definitive changes right now to recognize that prioritizing is important, not forcing the energy. You're still going to advance. You're still making progress. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, because I feel this is a major message for you this month. And this is a card that highlights, that do not be discouraged by slow progress, because often slow progress is a long-lasting progress, okay? Sometimes you'll see someone who suddenly rises to fame and then suddenly disappears, and then you can acknowledge that some people, they take longer to get to that position of fame, and it is based on a solid foundation of hard work and structure. Now, I'm not dismissing the two. Talent, raw talent, and being in the right place at the right time, very important, but it must have groundedness and structure and a plan and a foundation so it can be sustainable. So sometimes when you're like, you want to rush ahead, but you've got some locked doors there, this is highlighting that you need to just recognize that the pace can be slowed down a little bit, or you can prioritize your own needs for your own well-being. Okay, so that's coming through very strongly there. But sometimes the obstacle is also through. I feel like you are shaping your abundance in challenging times. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that things are challenging after, 2020. Things have like amplified when it comes to how challenging things really are. But this tree is flourishing. So you're on the precipice of flourishing. There's more abundance coming on in here, and you worked really hard for this. So I would say this is a month of acknowledging this. Something comes through for you that highlights you can breathe, you can relax, you can take stock of you actually making progress, and you're on top of things. For some of you, this doesn't have to be about prosperity. Most importantly, health. So important. Peace of mind, managing cortisol levels, hydrating, keeping, your inner peace so it's not distracted by the noise of life. There's always going to be something that tries to impact your inner peace, and that is your inner temple. So I feel like you're really on top of that because of your 6th house, okay? But your 12th house is reinforcing it. It's trying to elevate above drama. It is connecting to your higher self and also having divine intervention from unseen realms. That's something that's going to happen for you. I feel like you're going to get like lots of messages, signs, synchronicities, names of places, things that just come out of the blue where you're like, oh my gosh, that's like a miracle. And it is sent to you on purpose. And I do not talk like this in my readings, but I really feel something is being sent to you in the month of September that is a bit of a miracle. Okay. Now we have the 8 of Wands. So this is an energy here where a lot of you may return to something that perhaps you've stalled on. It could be a project, it could be something that's DIY related, it could also be you kind of like returning to like a ritual or a habit that perhaps you've lapsed on. So if, for example, you've promised yourself to be more active and then life got in the way and you haven't been actually as active as you want to be, this could be that you're getting back on health goals, or, you're returning to a promise that you made to yourself. But also the 8 of Wands, of course, is news. Now there is news here that's delayed, but when it gets to you, it's really positive. Also, this reading for the month isn't really focused around love. Okay, so I do feel that if you are single and searching for love, and especially if you're someone who's mature and feeling like love is never going to happen for you, that's not true at all. I definitely see here that you could be talking to someone new. And for a lot of you with the Hermit, you may be thinking about online dating or apps, but if that's something you're just not up with right now or down with or whatever you say in these circumstances, you could actually meet a person where you find peace. So this could be, you could go to like a meditation class and someone is on that meditation class and you strike up a conversation with that person. It could also be that you go to a library, and I'm not saying everyone should run out to a library, but it could be, a place of worship. If you celebrate a faith or a religion, my readings are not about that, but if you acknowledge that and celebrate your faith, it could be a place where you feel calm. I feel like you're going to meet a person, if you're searching for love, someone who has a different lifestyle to you. This person is very spiritually evolved, and actually they bring this calmness. You just know when you meet this person, you just know. And you know that you're going to walk this journey of life and love with this person until you retire and beyond, okay? So that's coming through there strongly. This person's a really great communicator. Now, moving away from the energy, the 8 of Wands basically means progress and advancements on something that you feel has been slow moving. And also, this is a card that highlights, again, it is going to be a very fast-paced environment because you're growing something, you're building something. For some of you, it could be that, you're pregnant, you're growing the next generation, and you may find that baby wants to come a little bit early. So if you are due in the month of, say, end of September, October time, baby could come early this month, and you'll be celebrating early there as well. You maybe want to spend a lot of time at home to recoup your energy, rejuvenate, because you have that Hermit energy there as well. But, if you're not birthing children, you're birthing plans, ideas, and a lot of them could be money-making ideas or, ideas that help you advance in some way. The Page of Pentacles is being practical. It's applying yourself to something really realistic that you can make an effort on and see the rewards and the results. I mean, pages tend to be an energy of, you being responsible with your finances, being careful with your investments and your spending habits, being a little bit stricter with yourself, maybe even investing a little bit in your 401k pension pot there, because of course we have this beautiful card of creation, and it's water, Money is fluid, okay? So it is connected to currency. If you think about it, current currency, the banks of the river basically direct the course of the currency, and there's liquidity. We talk about it, it's being in the flow. So, holding on to savings in certain savings accounts that really don't bear any kind of like interest rate is not really going to be effective for you. So it could be that you are looking at higher yielding bank accounts or goods or services from financial institutions that help you amplify your wealth in some way. And of course, when you are putting money into your 401k pension pot, you're saving it for the future, but it also fluctuates. So it is liquidity. It is something that, flows with the current of how the banks are doing, and the rest basically. So it could be that you're focusing on financial strategies. You may even look at new apps or banking strategies in order to build more money. Some of you may literally be writing a book about your experiences. If you're retired, you may be writing novels, or you may be writing about your journey. Or even if you're not retired, it could be that you're just writing about your experiences, or writing handbooks on how to do something practical with your knowledge that could actually advance your financial status, but also thrust you into connections globally. It could be that people around the world purchase your books or your how-to, or you could put it online, something that automates itself and brings in money. For some of you, because your 6th house is there, you may actually be selling pre-loved goods in order to declutter your home space, because the Virgo energy is like, get rid of it if you don't utilize it. You may have loved it at one time, but if it's just taking up space, that's not practical. So you could actually be selling it online and, getting some financial recompense there as well. So there's more money in your account. I am seeing a lot here of you focused on your family lineage as well. So some of you may be looking into your heritage, maybe looking at your family tree, because we have a tree there. You could also be looking at hereditary kind of ailments, so that you kind of avoid getting those. Things that you can avoid perhaps, or things that you keep your eye on to make sure that you're not on course to ever experience those things. These could be things that are on your mind, because of course your 6th house is also about health, and it can be about, habits, because it's about building, really solid habits this month. You're making an effort to do something in order to advance. So you could be making an effort on a diet or exercise routine, not just in terms of your finances. Whenever you've got a Page of Pentacles, it can be connected to the body. That's what I want you to be aware of. But ultimately, it can be that you have a new money-making idea in the works. You may be ready to launch it, or maybe you are intuitively finding out the best time to launch it, and it's going to be very successful indeed there. Now, for some of you, because we have a lot of movement cards, some of you could be moving homes, and you could actually be visiting a lot of properties right now and closing doors to a lot of them that are like, nope, that's not right. Some of you want to be a little bit more remote or more in nature there. I feel there's an energy here of like wanting to be connected to water, but not too close to water is what I'm seeing there as well. Or you may be looking at water as a factor, like flood zones and things like that. I feel like you're going to find the right property, and it may come on the cusp of September, October for you, okay? Don't give up. The right property for the right price is out there, and I see that as soon as you walk through the door, you're like, I'm home. And you just know, okay? So that's coming through there as well. Now, of course, we have creation water. So this is about protecting your inner peace. It's about being in the flow, but also being hydrated as well there. And it's number 29. When you reduce it, 2 plus 9, of course, is 11. So this is about being on your soul path, connecting to your sense of purpose, which brings you this sense of peace. You're going to realize this month you're on the right track, okay? Yes, you're trying new things. Yes, you're launching new things, or maybe having new ideas. That doesn't mean that you're not on the right course. It just means you are adding to your course. And it just feels like there is this sense of release, like good news brings this release or relief at the end of the month there for you. So if you are waiting for something that's delayed, suddenly it comes through, and this news, because remember, pages bring news, it will help you feel like really calm. There's literally like a carrier pigeon right there which tend to carry like news information or documents. So I feel a lot of you could be focused on documents or trying to create a deal, or you're waiting for something and it's been a long time coming and you're wondering if it's going to be positive. But looking at the outcome energy, I would say Knight of Swords, the news changes your life, but there's always a positive outcome when it's connected to the Knight of Swords. It's always for your highest good, okay? So this card, as it's 29 there, this can indicate that you're in the flow, moving forward with confidence. You're being true to yourself and your emotions, and you're not allowing yourself to remain stagnant, okay? Also, creation is your birthright. You came here to experience, to be, to create. Highly creative month for you. Some of you may even be making gifts, like handmade gifts or crafts during this time, and sending them off as gifts. If there's someone important that's having a birth date during this time, of course, you may be sending something there through the post. Just send it a little bit earlier than expected, because I see a delay in the mail. Also, of course, my beautiful Librans, at the end of September, happy birthday for you all as you step into your birthday season. I hope you have the most magical time indeed. I actually see some of you, as you move through, especially if you are a late September Libran there may be a delayed gift coming through for you, okay? This person sent it in good faith early, but actually the postal system delayed it, okay? And it could get like stuck at customs for some time if your person who's sending it is overseas. That's coming through there strongly, okay? They didn't forget about you. In fact, you are constantly on their mind, and they searched for a very specific gift for you. I feel like you know that anyway, but it may come delayed. And they may be waiting like, oh, Libra didn't reach out and say they got the gift. They'll wait a little bit longer, and you may be thinking, oh, I didn't receive anything. That's unusual. That's a bit disappointing. And both of you are kind of like wondering, and then suddenly your friend will reach out and say, hey, did you get the gift? Did it come through? Because they don't want to presume. And then you're like, no, I didn't get anything. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then both of you will kind of chase it and find it, and it will come through. So that's fine. Okay. Now, also, I feel some of you may trial new beauty routines during this period. Okay. And you find something that is going to be of benefit, but it may come at the cost of something that you used to use being discontinued. So if you have a product that's a favorite product, I hate to give you this, but you may find it's being discontinued. You'll find something else that's way better. Okay, so that's coming through there as well. Now, of course, eclipses, they make us think about our legacy, our journey, deep philosophical thoughts there. Okay, that's your 12th house all over. And of course, you may be thinking about your legacy and getting older, of course, because you're moving into birthday season. So you may be, really contemplating your path and thinking about all the people who came into your life and stayed in your life, and those who left, and, times where you raised your vibration or rose to an occasion where you were successful, and other times where things didn't go your way. So you're going to be sorting through a lot of stuff. The 12th house is the deepest part of your chart, so you may feel more sensitive than usual. This is a time to connect to your higher self. This figure is definitely connecting to their higher self right there. And you're going to receive important information. That's what I mean. You may see flashes of insight or connect to psychic ability. But also, this is a big month for forgiveness, for release. Now, I'm not saying you forgive a person or a situation to let them off the hook or give them a free pass. We release things in order to lighten our karmic load, okay? So that we don't take this heaviness with us. So this could be a big month where you release something, where you look at it from a different angle, try to understand it from a different perspective, but, you let go so that you can be in the flow and not keep you stagnant. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that when we're angry or frustrated at another person, they don't feel that. We feel it. And it really, hurts us. So sometimes to lighten the load or heal ourselves, we release those challenging emotions so that we don't hurt ourselves even further. And I feel some of you are going to philosophically and cathartically sort through some of those emotions and situations this month in order to be free of these experiences. big personal development month for you. Knight of Swords is an energy of you responding to things differently or people differently. So it can be that you're protecting your inner peace, you're not allowing anyone to dull your shine, but also this could be adapting to, something new. For example, for some of you, because we have the Hermit energy, the Hermit is often perceived as like a person who's quite mature, has a lot of experience, and they're just fed up with, surface level stuff. So it can be that you're removing yourself from surface level stuff. You're actually wanting to dig a little bit deeper, have really deep conversations with people, have meaningful experiences in life. And you may be searching those things out and removing yourself from things that really don't align with you. But also, as we start to mature, we start to change the things that we're interested in. So you may be looking at hobbies, rituals, things that just don't align with you anymore, and you may be seeking the alternative there. This is a big soul-searching month for you. And as we get older, of course, we may notice little creaks in places that creaks didn't exist before. If you're going through the menopause as well, it may be that you're adapting to symptoms or changes in your body, for example, or this could be a mindset that as you get older, I certainly know this in myself, that, as I get older, sometimes things that I used to put up with, that I gritted my teeth and like bore it for that moment, thinking, oh my gosh, I just whatever, just get this over and done with, now I'm like, no, my boundary is high. It's like, I don't need to experience this, with respect. I am protecting my energy from this. I'm removing myself from this. So, with the Hermit, this is a removal, and you're like, kind of like changing or adapting by removing yourself from something that perhaps has the ability to infiltrate your inner peace. So you're removing drama, you're removing challenging situations that don't benefit you, because challenging ourselves is important. Variety is the spice of life. Coming out of a comfort zone, important. All of those things, important. But anything that just makes you feel drained or, basically does not bring peace to your life, you're like, no, I'm not about it. Okay, so I feel like you're moving away from that. So Knight of Swords, again, the Knight of Swords is the knight that is fast. Does a lot of things, is someone who rushes into action. So I would say that this is a month for action. You don't have to go too fast, because if you do go too fast, you may have to return to something. You may learn a lesson in that. Okay, so I would just say also, just be a little bit mindful if you travel by motorcycle or by car, for example, speeding. There could be a fine there. Okay, so just be mindful. It's always good to maintain, the speed limit, because it keeps everybody safe, of course. But if you forget yourself for a moment, or if you are someone who is in like a new environment, because this could be you driving or traveling to a new environment there, and it could be that you are not au fait with the speeding restrictions, and it could be like a sign that's not very well signed or hidden. You could get caught out. Just watch out for that. If it is a sign that is hidden behind like overgrowing trees, for example, you can contest this, okay, because you were not made aware in a clear, concise way of the speeding like parameters. Okay, so just watch out for that, because I just see speeding ticket. Okay. Also, and I hate to give this message for some of you, I do see a repair necessary that you may have to sort of spend a small amount of money on there as well. But I feel whatever it is you spend, you replenish. Okay. Now, a lot of you, as I said, you are rushing around getting something done, getting ahead of yourself, so you can withdraw, so you can have thinking time, reflection time, so that you can rejuvenate by either taking a vacation, a time away. But ultimately, the Hermit is really aligned with your 12th house there, because it is about seeking inspiration, finding the light in dark places, being the light in challenging environments as well there. I feel you could inspire someone or make someone's day by giving them a compliment. You may even get a compliment yourself, and it literally makes your day there too. Now, the Hermit is an energy of going solo. So it could be taking a walk in nature, or if you are someone who works in a career, it could be that you're contemplating launching your own business, going off on your own. For some of you, if you're a parent, because I'm really getting like grandparent or parent energy, it could be that either a child or a grandchild is going off traveling, maybe on a sabbatical, traveling to different places, and you may be a little bit worried, but actually they're going to check in with you and there's nothing to worry about. Also, if they're going off to like college or university and it's further afield, of course you may worry. There's a little bit of empty nest syndrome there, but they're going to check in with you and they're going to be having a wonderful time and make great advancements. And they are a testament to how you guided them, okay? Now, for some of you, you may actually hear that you're going to be a grandparent, okay? So it could be that there is a new addition to your family there. Wonderful news. Congratulations if that is you. You're going to be the cool grandparent. I got to tell you that, okay? You're going to be doing lots of fun things with your grandchildren if you are a grandparent. But even if you're a parent, definitely going to be doing that as well. Okay, so yes, this month is all about inspiration and completion and then renewal. Literally all of that. You've got inspiration there. So taking action, being inspired, exciting things, completing tasks to a high standards, and just like moving on to the next. And of course, you've got renewal there, so rejuvenating your energy, having time for you, making sure that you're aware that you are not just the sum of the things that you're attached to, okay? Happiness is not found in your job or in your relationship or in anything outside of yourself. Happiness is within. So a lot of you, this is about prioritizing your own time and looking inwards, especially at the end of the month. It says here, inspiration. Tune into your inner child and remember that not all who wonder are lost. Give yourself permission to laugh, play, and relax. Nature's wisdom will surprise you with spontaneous inspiration as you adventure through your path, okay? So enjoying the moment, soaring high. We also have completion. So it says, you have reached the finish line of your goal, with a world of untapped possibilities waiting to be explored. Take a moment to reflect on the distance you've traveled. Isn't that interesting? All of your cards are tied in to this. And then in the invaluable lessons learned, your perseverance and determination will have brought you this far, and there is much more to be proud of. Interesting. So lots more opportunity coming on in for you, but you're reaching a milestone. This could be on a personal development project, or completion on a house. It could be you getting a job, signing a contract, completing something that you're really proud of. I feel there is a lot to celebrate here that brings you relief that it's just done now, and now you're on to the next. And of course, we've got renewal there as well. And it says, your life is entering a phase of expansion and renewal, and it will bring greater alignment on your journey. Shed the shackles that have held you back. If you feel the urge to make a change, trust that it is a sign from the universe guiding you towards the path that you're meant to be on. Now, I actually feel like you're on the right path. I feel like you're making new additions, but it could be that this month is a gear shift or you're tweaking the plan, because I feel like you're on course. You're just tweaking and making additions, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Ooh, we've got a letter. Okay, so this could be either or, my guy just said. We've got a W there. Also an M if you turn it upside down, okay? So this could be, there's double possibility, or it can be, it's how you interpret something, or these letters could actually be something that is connected either to your initials or to the initials of something you're waiting for, or a signpost on like a direction or an area. So just be mindful, W or M, either or both is what I'm being given. I'm going to put it there as an M, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. Also, if you'd like to be with a chance to win a free personal reading from me, all you have to do is put an emoji of a candle in the comments box below. And if you don't have access to that, just write the word candle, and my guides will draw me to one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, and I'll announce the winner at the end of September, okay? Thank you so much, my beautiful Librans, and love and light.